Oh, hi. Yeah, sorry, corny intro. All right, so a lot of people ask me, James, what do I do when I get a new computer? What I'm going to do here is I'm going to walk you through the basic startup, basically get you up and running, protected, and then we can go into another series of videos down the road. So come with me as we go on this long and awesome journey, okay? All right, so anyway, this is assuming you have a Windows 10 PC. This is applicable across the board. Now, this is going to be a fresh install of Windows, so there's no bloatware, there's no crap like any antivirus trials, um, any adware. Lenovo comes with a lot of their own proprietary software. I know that Toshiba does as well. The big things you want to remove when you get into the operating system after this initial setup is done is going to remove that. You don't need the antivirus trials that come with it. Most of them are garbage anyway, especially McAfee. Kaspersky is pretty decent, but they're overpriced. A lot of antiviruses out there nowadays will keep you protected that are free. But the top ones I recommend are, especially Windows 8 or Windows 10, is Windows Defender. It's built right in. It's super simple, and teamed up with the steps I'm going to show you, you don't need a verbose antivirus suite bogging your computer down, especially if you only spent $200 to $300 on your machine and it doesn't have a lot of power. So you're going to want to use everything that's natively built in, a lot like with your cell phones nowadays. You want to find as many apps to get productivity going right in the phone. So, as with the computer, this is what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to squeeze as much out of your PC as possible. Now, the system I'm using right now is a virtual PC, but it's set up as a pretty limited, pretty basic system. It's dual core, 4 gigs. It doesn't have a lot of storage. So, this is going to be applicable all the way across. So, whether you're buying a low end machine or a top end Windows based machine, yes, it's just Windows. I might get into some Linux and Mac tutorials here later, but for now, this should cover just about everything that you need to know to get started. Now, when you first fire it up, you're going to get your basic questions. And Windows 10 has really made this very simple. So the first thing you want to do, I'm in the Eastern time zone, is go here and change this to -5 Eastern time, US and Canada. That is us. Well, if you're in Michigan or wherever you're viewing this from. So you click that. Everything else is pretty much set. Change these to be applicable. I doubt anybody in Venezuela is going to be watching this video. So we'll click next. It's going to jump to the next page. Legal stuff, basically, I'm not going to pirate. It comes with Flash Player, blah, blah, blah. We'll get through. Just click accept. Everybody clicks accept. You're going to click accept. You just bought the computer. Unless you want to wipe and install Linux. All right. So there's a lot of express settings in here. Most of it's not really going to apply because we're going to swap everything out for Google Chrome. Um, so by the personalizing your speech typing and inking input, it's basically gathering general data about you, and then using it across the board in your system. Um, this is also going to turn on your location, including your location history. Where this is actually helpful is if your computer gets stolen. They do have built-in tools to track your PC, much like Mac has had for quite a while, your Android phone has had, your iOS device has had. Your advertising ID, yet again, it's generalized metadata. They don't know your name. They're not sending it back to Microsoft and saying, hey, go target James and send him just this ad. No, it's using generalized data in your computer. And yet again, a lot of this isn't going to apply to you because we're not going to be using Spartan Internet Explorer. So it's not going to be collecting that data. This is a big one, help protect you from malicious web content. Yet again, we're going to take steps to prevent that. A new feature in Windows 10 is automatically connect to suggested open hotspots and shared networks. Now, if you log in with a Windows Live ID like I'm going to, and my other friends that are in my Skype contact list or my Windows contact list have connected to a Wi-Fi, that's going to be automatically shared with them. So if my friend brings their laptop over, I don't have to give them my password. So some people are going to be irked about that, some of them aren't, but it saves time. It's the way things are going. Generalized data. If you don't like it, you can go in here to customize the settings. And I've actually never done this. So you can turn these off individually. And you can turn off the location and all that fun stuff. You turn off the location, it's going to turn off that personalized random connection if you're going over to your friend's house or whatever like that. So a smart screen. Smart screen helps protect you. And then you can individually turn off that setting as well for the connected network shared by your contacts. And I would probably recommend turning off this open hotspots. mostly because, like it says here, not all networks are secure. So if you connect to a public Wi-Fi, like let's say you go to Barnes and Noble, or for some reason you're connecting to Meijer, maybe you're sitting at Subway, it's going to connect to their open Wi-Fi as soon as it can. Maybe you want to do that, maybe you don't, but actually that's one thing I think I'm going to start changing now. I'm going to change that. So the computer's going to restart. It's probably grabbed a couple of updates. I know this is running the original build of Windows 10, so I probably got to grab an update, so I will be right back. Alright, and we're back. So, once it restarts, if it restarts at all, if not, this is going to be your next step. This is where you're going to personalize it. Now, this is going to be logging in with your Windows Live account. If you don't have a Windows Live account, you can create one right here, right through the setup. You don't have to worry about opening a browser window or going to a different computer. Now, why would you want to do that? Couple of the big benefits is if you change computers, all your settings and everything goes with you. Like when I log in with mine, you're going to see my backgrounds that I'm currently running on the desktop that I'm actually recording this on. Other things like settings and saved Wi-Fi passwords, it's a lot like setting up your phone. Your computers are becoming a lot more like your smartphones have been for the past couple of years, and those advancements that they're making, they're bringing to your PC finally. So if you don't want to do that, you can skip this step and you can create a local account. This is just like your old classic Windows, multiple users, blah, blah, blah. So you can, either way, you're creating an administrator account for the computer. The big benefit to using the live account, though, like I said, is it's not only gonna sync up with your other computers, if you have more than one, like most of us do nowadays. So all your settings and everything stay across the board. That can also help sync up your OneDrive files, which is a cloud storage service that they offer. So anything you save to your My Documents will go up to your cloud. Your pictures will be backed up automatically. I recommend doing it. You can disable and enable features, and I'll go over those features later in other videos. But if you want to create the local account, do that by skipping this step that we're on right now, and then we'll still cover some of those other features later on down the road. So right now, I'm going to log in. Go ahead and steal my email. I don't give a crap. And as you notice, I'm not using a Windows login. I'm using my Gmail account. I can also use my Live login. They're kind of linked together in my profile. You can do that through your account settings. This is also the one that I use for Xbox Live. Why would you want to do that? Well, they're linking across the platforms nowadays. So your Xbox Live gamer tags also work in Windows. So you can also do in-game recording. There's going to be cross-platform availability there. So if game is not a big deal, don't worry about it. But anywho. Boom, boom, boom. Let that sign in. It's going to grab some of my info. I use a PIN on just about everything. It's faster than a password, and my desktop is not going to be leaving my house. If it's a laptop, you can. There's a whole bunch of different. There's a whole bunch of different options that you can use. They have picture passwords and stuff like that. I'm going to set up a PIN real quick, just because it's way faster for me to log in. You can also disable the login screen if you want. That's cool, but I don't. So popped in my PIN, 4 digits. Now every time I log in, it's just boom, in. All right, now Cortana is the biggest addition to Windows 10. I like using it. It's basically a super awesome upgraded version of Windows Search, and she's actually useful. Cortana was from Halo. She was the Master Chief's assistant, but it was also a Windows or a Microsoft property, so that they brought it in. She can search across everything in your computer, anything you give her access to. Even if you say use Cortana right now, there's still a lot of things you have to configure before she has full access to everything. Right off the gate, though, I mean, she's going to collect and use your information for location history, contacts, voice input, searching history, all that fun stuff. But why? So that everything you search for is more tailored to you. Google's been doing it for almost 5 years now. I know Apple does it with theirs. Everything's personalized for you. So she's going to learn what you actually want to search for. So if you go searching for hockey, she might bring up more relevant results, like I like the Flyers. So she knows that. She's going to give me Flyers scores and Flyers showing game times. If I search for movie showtime, she's going to know that I'm in Muskegon. I want Cinema Carousel times. And she's probably going to recommend the movies and the genres that I search for the most if I use Bing. That's the other big caveat. You have to use Bing in order for a lot of those features to come up. So if you're using Google and we're going to be installing Google Chrome, this isn't really going to benefit you a lot. The big thing is this is a much faster and way more accurate search than Windows search was alone by itself in Windows 8 and Windows 7 and God, Windows XP and Vista. That was terrible. It's actually really, really reliable if you're looking for files on your computer, your bookmarks, anything like that, if you're using the Microsoft products. So I'm still going to use Cortana. We're not going to go over Cortana anymore in this. Um, and I believe that was the last step. So it's going to say, hey, we're setting a few things up for you. And I will pause this because it does take a few minutes. So sit back, go grab a cup of tea, cup of water, or beer, whatever you do. I'm going to go get some water while this is setting up. When we come back, we'll be at the desktop. We'll actually be in the login screen, and then we'll go from there. All right. Well, it didn't give me the login screen. I'm going to get a couple of things configured, actually. But first things first, when you first get the desktop, it's going to ask you about the local network that you're connected to. Now, if you've got a few computers that you want to set up and share files with, you definitely want to turn on network discovery. If you're the only computer there, or if you're not streaming anything to your Xbox or anything like that, you can click no. I go with yes, especially if it's your home PC. Setting as a public network does lock things down, and if it does need any network access later on, it will ask you. So I'm going to click yes real quick. All right, cool. As I said, it's not a super fast machine. And all right, had to configure a couple of things, but it should be a little bit easier for me to show you some things now. All right, so now we're here on a desktop. What do you do? Well, first thing you're going to notice if you've never used Windows 10 before is this is very different. Your start menu, at least you have a start menu. A lot of people complained about that whole full screen thing in Windows 8, so they changed that, and I love the new start menu. It teams up with Cortana, the Windows search, very well. It's a little more colorful. It's a little more festive. Your all apps, so everything you have installed is right here. I just, at the bottom of this right here, you're going to go down and click on all apps and just scroll on through and you'll find everything kind of like you did in Windows XP, Windows Vista, and Windows 7. Everything cascades down as you hover over them and go through all that fun stuff. Over here, you'll see your tiles. You can customize these however you want. I normally just leave them alone. I rarely use my start menu that much. So, as I mentioned, your Xbox settings are right here, so you can actually log in with your Xbox Live gamer tag and go to town with it. You can communicate with your friends, send messages, check your gamer score, buy new games, have them downloaded to your Xbox 360 or your Xbox One. It's really cool, and you don't have to turn your Xbox on to activate all that fun stuff. You have their music and apps, or their music and movies and TV apps. I really don't use those either. Their Windows Mail app is actually pretty sweet. You can set up multiple email accounts and all that fun stuff. We will get into a lot of that later on down the road. Maybe, if I feel like it. I'm going through the stuff I use. All right, so the first thing I mentioned when I started up was a lot of the bloatware that would be on other PCs. Mine doesn't have it because it's a clean install of Windows, which you can do with just about any PC. All you need is a Windows 10 installation disk. Great part is there are no serial keys. There's nothing that you have to type in when you do a Windows installation unless you're doing a fresh install on a custom build. So if this is an OEM PC from Dell or Toshiba or anything like that, you don't have to worry about saving your product key anymore, which is really awesome because it's going to save a lot of headache. This Windows installation is locked to the hardware type of your computer. What does that mean? As long as your hardware doesn't change too much, you don't have to worry about losing your license for Windows. If you're like me and you change your hardware a lot, you're probably going to want to keep your key handy so you can re-verify. If it's a laptop, you don't have to worry about it. If it's a desktop, maybe. I haven't actually run into that yet. I haven't changed too much of my hardware, so I don't have to really worry about reactivating anytime soon. We'll see how that works out down the road. If you're running on an older version of Windows, do the free upgrade now. You only got a couple more months. The date, it's March, it's the 22nd today, 2016. So if you haven't done your upgrade yet, take it. Windows 10 is awesome. Your computer's probably going to run a lot faster. And if it doesn't work, if the upgrade doesn't work, it's probably going to tell you that there's something wrong with your computer, which you might want to go have somebody check out. All right, so to get to your control panel where you're going to want to remove those unwanted programs, the quickest way, go down to the start button and right click on the right side of your mouse on that start button. The newer versions of Windows 10, this will all be black and gray, but the items are still the same. So you're going to go up here to Programs and Features when it pops up. And then this is going to load everything that's installed on your computer. As you can see, mine's pretty naked right now. You see anything in there like McAfee or any antivirus names like Norton or anything like that, especially McAfee and Norton, just click on them, click on Install, and get it the hell off your computer. You don't need that. You don't want it. Windows Defender will activate itself on the next reboot. And you can always check that by hitting the Windows key and typing in Defender. And bam, there's Windows Defender. And you can also go right to the Windows Defender settings, which is where we're going to go right now, and make sure that, real-time protection is turned on. And then we'll actually go into Windows Defender real quick. Make sure, see, my virus and spyware definitions are pretty old. So you're going to want to go to Update here. This is one of the first things you want to make sure you're doing after you get rid of your old antivirus, stuff like that. You can't have them running side by side. It just won't work. If Windows Defender detects another antivirus, it will disable itself, which is really cool. If you're on a Windows 7 or Windows 8 and you don't have antivirus protection, it will download Microsoft Security Essentials for you, which is basically what this is, and automatically install it through a Windows Update. Microsoft wants you to be secure. They want you to be safe. So once that's updated or updating, you can just close that out. Doesn't matter. Now, down here you'll see this blue E. It's not Internet Explorer anymore. It is Microsoft Edge, codename Spartan. That was the test name back in the day. So we're going to click on that, and we're only going to use this for one thing. I'm a huge Google Chrome user. It's fast, it's customizable, it's easy for me to sync all of my stuff across the board. Now, this is where that Windows Live ID does come in handy. If you do have multiple PCs or a Windows phone, once you're logged in, it'll sync your bookmarks and your history across all those devices. So if you have something saved on your phone, it'll be accessible on your desktop without having to plug it in and move data over. But I do that with Chrome. So we're going to go to Chrome. Just type this in the address box, .google.com. Simple as that. You're going to press enter. And that will take us to the Google Chrome homepage. Eventually. There we go. Download, accept, install, money. That's going to be the short part of the download. Then once it's done, Chrome setup.exe has finished downloading. You're going to click on Run down here at the bottom. And if you missed it, it's right under where the iPhone is in the graphic. You will say yes. This is user account control. This is pretty useful. I turn this off normally, but this is anytime something's asking for system level access, this will pop up. You usually want to leave that on, especially if you don't know what you're doing with computers. It's going to save you a lot of headache in the long run. All right, so while that's downloading, I'll be right back. All right, so if you were like me and you looked away, bam, it's installed. It handled everything all on its own, which is really, really nice. Now, if you want to go through a real brief tutorial, you can actually play this video here, and it's going to give you basically the basic rundown, but we're going to go through that anyway. Now the Google Chrome is open. I'm going to close it. I'm going to close Edge too, because I don't need it. Now it's on the desktop. I'm going to right-click it, and I'm going to pin it to the taskbar. Why? So it's down here at the bottom. Easy to access. It's right there. No questions, no pain. And it'll also be available right here under your All Apps. It should also show up under the recently installed. I don't know why it didn't. But it's in here. Bam, right there. So now we're going to open up Google Chrome again. Why do we do that? Because it's going to trigger this wonderful thing right here that says Google Chrome is not your default browser. Now in Windows 8 and Windows 7 you can click it and bam, it's pretty much done. In Windows 10 it's a little bit tougher, so you're going to hit Set as Default. And it's going to bring up your Windows settings. The Windows settings are kind of different from your control panel if you're used to that from back in the day. But we're going to scroll down here to where it says Web Browser. You can also change your default video, music, and all that other fun stuff, but we'll get to that either in a later time or if we ever decide to get to it. We're going to click on Microsoft Edge, and then we're going to scroll up here to Google Chrome. And now, Google Chrome is now our default browser. So anytime I do a search result down here in Cortana, it's going to open up its results in Chrome. And we'll set up Cortana here in a little bit. So, what do we do next? Well, we know we're protected. We have a good web browser. But are we protected in that browser? No, we're not, because I'm going to use, one of my favorite sites in the world, and this might get a little weird looking. So we're going to go to thepiratebay.se. Why? Because I don't condone pirating, but it does show me a really good example of what a website's going to look like with or without ad block. This is what we're going to install. So here's this website. I am going to search for Kanye West. Doesn't matter, I just need to get some search results up. So here is the wonderful world of pirating or just torrenting. See all these ads over here? That's really, really confusing. If I click on that torrent, bam, whoa, I just got a new computer. How are all these things wrong? This is just a pop-up. This is scareware. Scare site. It's not even installed yet. You click OK and download and install whatever it wants. It's going to infect your computer. Now, why did I just go here? To show you what this next program is going to do. While you're browsing the web, you're probably going to run into things like these. This is going to happen. This is not an official Comcast statement. This is not an official Windows error. This is simply a web page I can move and close. Now I'm in here and look. Bam, there's all these other download buttons, when all I really want to do is click right here. Click on this, get this torrent. All this other stuff here, this is all ads. This is all ways for them to infect your computer. Why do they do this? Because they want to make money off of you. This site doesn't charge you anything to do what they do. What do? Don't ask me. I don't know. So I'm going to close that out real quick and keep that image in your head, which you just saw, all that crap. And I'm going to type in adblockplus.org. adblockplus.org. This is a simple to install, simple to run, easy to use ad blocker. Now, what does this do? Check it out. I'm going to install this for Chrome right now, and we're going to click Add Extension. I'm going to give you a real brief download down here in the corner. And then it should give me the new stop sign up here in the top right, and this new tab that just opened. I'm going to scroll down and turn on malware blocking. It's kind of beta, but it still helps stop a lot of that other stuff. And you can disable your tracking. That's basically from things like Google that want to track what you're searching for, or Microsoft, or anything like that. I'm not that worried about it, so I'm just going to leave that off because I do like my search results from Google to be personalized. So once that's turned on, I'm going to close this, and now I'm going to go back to thepiratebay.se. And I'm going to type in Kanye West one more time. Beautiful, clean, simple website. This is all that the Pirate Bay is supposed to be, but they have to throw those other things in there to make money and try to keep their server costs and blah, blah, blah up. So remember all those other download buttons when I clicked on the Life of Pablo? Oh, you see that? Tried to pop up, didn't happen. Bam, nothing else but what is intended for me to download. This works on other sites too. Some other, like cnet.com, download.com, other things that will try to entice you to click other buttons. I use this site because it's really, really simple to show the example. This works world web wide. One other thing you want to change, though, you're going to want to go up here to the AdBlock Plus icon at the top right, left click on it, go to Options, and you want to uncheck this Allow some non-intrusive advertising. This is normally for YouTube and stuff like that. It's going to allow a couple of ads to come through, but it really lets a lot of other ads come through on other vicious sites because, unfortunately, AdBlock also takes money. But once you disable that, you should be good to go. You can close that out and do whatever your heart desires on the web. Literally that simple. Your computer is now set up and secure. You can browse the web, you can do whatever you want, and I'm going to uncheck Microsoft Edge from here because I don't like it. So that's the basic setup. Part 1. You're cocked, locked, and ready to rock. Go tear up the internet. I'll be back soon. Might have some other videos for you. But hey, share this with your friends, especially if they're out buying computers. It's that time of year. Everybody's got money. Bye.